President Obama describing the death of Taliban leader Mullah Mansour as an important milestone for peace. He was taken out a week ago by a U.S. drone strike while he was in Pakistan, and now the Afghan Taliban says they've appointed a successor, this guy, Malawi Akhundzada. He is a religious scholar known for issuing public statements justifying the existence of the extremist Taliban and their war against the Afghan government. So will he take the insurgency toward peace or continued war? Here now is James Carafano, senior fellow at the Heritage Foundation and a security and foreign policy analyst. Thanks for being with us. Akhundzada, was known in Afghanistan as the accountant because he amassed great wealth through opium and heroin peddling, which, tells you a lot about the guy. Does he represent any meaningful change as the Obama administration claiming, or will the killing of Mansour simply cause the Taliban to become even more extreme?
Right. Yeah. So I was actually in Islamabad several months ago, and everywhere we went, and every official we talked to, everybody talked about the roadmap. That now we had a roadmap that if the Taliban chose the course to peace, that they and the Afghans and the Chinese and the Americans could make this work. It sounded pretty fanciful then. I think the killing of Mansour and the changing of leadership absolutely means nothing on that. The Taliban have picked a strategy, and their strategy is to make as much progress on the ground as they possibly can, make the Afghan government look weak, try to drive a wedge between Afghanistan and Pakistan, and deal from a position of strength. So they're not interested in negotiating.
As I mentioned, Mullah Mansour was in Pakistan when he was killed by the U.S. drones, and Pakistan's intel service, the ISI, has long provided support and safe haven for Taliban leaders, which, of course, Pakistan officially denies. They always deny it. But the evidence to the contrary is very clear. So what more can the U.S. do to alter Pakistan's behavior toward the Taliban, if anything?
Right. So we went through this period where the Pakistani says, look, we need to give people some time, and they weren't. And I said, well, not years, just we need to give them months, to make a choice if they want to choose the road path or choose the other side. If they choose the other side, then we will get with you and we will help kind of go after them. So it was really interesting as we took out Mansour, and the Pacs basically said not much, which is very interesting. We went in there without their permission. We took out the guy that they said, well, we need this guy because he's going to pull the ISIS together for peace. And when we did that, they were actually pretty quiet about the whole thing.
Yeah, which speaks volumes. All of these Taliban leaders are military commanders, so they're fair game for U.S. missile attacks. We need to keep doing it now and go after, the new guy in an effort to decapitate the leadership. And at the same time, should we also be elevating our ground engagement?
Well, here's the point, and that gets to the we don't have a strategy. Obama doesn't have a strategy other than, getting to January and going off and building his library. So we do these strikes, but they literally are kind of one-off things. They're not part of a sequence of events that we're going to do to get someplace. So literally we are treading water. And quite honestly, what the Taliban are doing is they're waiting for us to leave to see if they can kind of get a better deal. They also have to be concerned. There are fringe parts that want to break away from ISI, break from the Taliban, and they're using the ISIS flag. And so the Taliban have to be concerned about them as well. So the number one thing for them is success on the battlefield, and we don't really have a plan to deal with that.
Right.
We just have a plan to kind of wait it out.
Yep. We seem to be reactive instead of proactive. James Carafano, good to see you. Thank you.
Thanks for having me.